The smell. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My entire undergraduate career has come down to one final assignment, an open book examination on American pop music. With that in mind, I am 99.99% of germs certain I'm going to graduate. To celebrate, I'm going to be making some homemade donuts using a recipe that is arguably one of the most easiest recipes you could ever find. Basically, all you need is a can of biscuits and an air fryer. This recipe I'm using comes from a website called The Kitchen, and that is The Kitchen with no E because evidently they could not afford to buy another vowel. Of the 5 ingredients listed, I'm actually only using 2 of them because this recipe calls for me making cinnamon sugar donuts. I'm instead going to be making some glazed donuts, so I'll be using a completely different recipe for that portion. I will say this though, I recently found this container of cinnamon sugar in the cabinet. It expired back in 2018, and honestly I don't remember seeing this since long before then. But recently I have been using this for my bagels. I'll spread it into my cream cheese, chop some strawberries and spread it on top. It is really good. It is probably one of the only ways I can get myself to eat fruit. First, it asks simply enough to line a baking sheet with parchment paper. I did not have parchment paper, so I instead used wax paper. What even is a parchment? Isn't that the bird in the pear tree? And next we're gonna just pop open the can of biscuits. Get all the paper off. Ooh, is there anything more satisfying than the sound of that? Yes, there is, but we're not gonna find it in this climate. Now, of course, we just line those up on the paper. To make them donuts, we gotta cut holes in the middle. It asks for you to use a 1-inch biscuit cutter. I don't have a biscuit cutter, so I'm gonna use this Costa Rican shot glass. Making homemade donuts, biscuit can, I must stand cause I'm homebound. Don't you worry, all of those donut holes are going to be used to make donut holes, and while the holes in the middle of the donut seem a little large, as the biscuits rise, they're gonna get smaller. Just gonna lightly spray this basket with some olive oil spray, courtesy of our pal Pam. Now I just moved 4 of the donuts over to the basket. They recommend you not use more than 4 at a time. Just letting the air fryer preheat, you're gonna set it to 350, and while in total you're cooking the donuts for 6 minutes, you need to flip them halfway through, so I'm gonna set it at 3 for now. This air fryer is made by Emerald, you know, bam. Alright, now they're set, let's give them 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, these don't look cooked at all, but I'm gonna use my claws, flip them over, and see what happens. So these are now fully cooked. Honestly, I'm not really impressed. They just look like biscuits with holes in them. But we're gonna do another batch. That's what's so great about doing the second batch. We'll see how those ones go. Maybe they'll go a little better. As you can see, this one, my claw kind of messed with it. But I love it. It's like an artisanal donut. All the dough is cooked, and again, not really excited about them. I like that they took on the basket texture at least. That sort of gives it a cool look, but who gets excited about plain donuts anyway? I'm looking forward to the glaze. The glaze will steal the show, I tell you that. This glaze recipe comes from Alton Brown of the Food Network. First, you're gonna grab a medium saucepan. You're gonna put in a 1/4 cup of whole milk. I've been so looking forward to saying this. I only have 2%. If you don't have whole milk, 2% is fine. Next, it's a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And lastly, you'll need 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. I have just under that, but it should work just fine. We're just going to sift the confectioner's sugar into the combined milk and vanilla extract. Some of the sugar didn't make it in, but that's okay. Ultimately, it's still the texture I want it to be. I love glaze. There was one time my friends and I got Domino's, and I don't know if we got pizza and dessert, but we definitely got dessert. I think it was those blondies. We asked if it could come with the icing that came on the side, the glaze icing. I think we had a whole tub left, so I was willing to drink it. I said, I'm gonna drink it, took 1 sip, and then ran over to the bathroom. I'm not gonna continue that story. I'll let you fill in the blanks, much like I filled in that toilet. Okay! So now the recipe had me set the finished glaze in a bowl of warm water, and we're just gonna dunk the donuts in. And I I'm gonna let this dough I drown in this pan of glaze. Here is the finished product, and honestly, they look okay. All right, now let's sit down and enjoy some coffee and donuts. I'm gonna pick this one here. It looks well glazed. Okay. Honestly, it's fine. I like that I did the glaze. I think the glaze helps a lot, but texturally, it's not a donut. It is a biscuit with a hole in it. I don't know. You know, it was too easy to be true. Would I sell these? No. But if I did, the donuts would be called Nicknuts, and the donut holes would be called Nicknards. Speaking of which, my nards, let's give them a taste. These are a little more convincing. I'll give you that. Honestly, I'm exhausted by all this.
Arguably one of the most easiest recipes you could ever find.
This is why I order food, but I'm glad I tried it. I just microwaved one just to see if it helps a little bit. The smell is better. It's more prominent. Oh, that's way better. That's way better. Okay, so if you do this, microwave it. All right. If you have already completed your undergraduate degree or are about to, like myself, congratulations to you. But wherever you are in life, I hope that things are going well for you and things will continue to get better in the future. Until next time. There's nothing you can't do. Air fry.